Some days I feel happy, then I'm not happy, then I'm happy again. And some days I feel like I should be happy even though I'm happy again. And then other days I feel like maybe I'm not happy and I know how it feels to be happy again. So I'm striving to be happy again. Like it's a goal. Like I have to reach it. Like it's somewhere I have to be. Like I have to get ready, put on my clothes, my favorite pair of socks, and dance my way there. You know? Some days it feels like I can't let go. Some days it feels like I can't let go. Like the pain is too much to succumb. It's too much for me to know. It's too much for me to go on to. It's too much for me to reach for. And I don't know where it should go. And then it takes my happy away from me again. But then sometimes I forget about the pain and then it just goes away. Like it's in a balloon and it flies up to the sky and it sprinkles out rain because the clouds get too heavy. I draw the lines and I think to myself like, man, the lines, they make sense. The lines make sense. The smoothness of the brush against the paper or against the object, it makes sense. It makes sense how it spreads out, how it bleeds, how it lets go of everything. How it tells me secrets, how the secrets are something that I should behold. And yeah, I forget my happy and then I look for it. I pack it up. You know, I put everything in a bag and I take it on a trip with me. And it's on the side of me, but not in front of me or behind me, but it's on the side of me. And I think to myself that the side of me that it's on may not be the right side. Maybe I'm defeating myself with that happy. Maybe I'm telling myself lies. And I comes to the point where I believe it. Now this time my entire self is floating in the clouds. And this time it's not heavy. It's light. And all I see is the sun. But as I get closer to it, everything is frozen. No answers, no places, no faces, no spaces to go. It's just frozen. It's cold up there. Kind of like it is here in this life. It's kind of like I don't know that I've been through what I've been through. But then I remind myself and it's all put back into a balloon. And this time the balloon doesn't go anywhere. It says it falls to the ground, needing the static around it. Just so it can make my hair raise. Just so it can light a spark in my brain. Just so I can be reminded of how much pain it is and how much it took for me to get to nothing. So when the happy is happy and I pack it all up and I take it with me to the side, I really don't have anywhere to go. It's like the train stopped. The buses don't run. All the cars have been taken and the tires are just rolling down the street. I don't know how to catch a ride on a tire. So now I have to sit there and wait. For what it is, I really don't know. All I ever needed was my happy. And sometimes people think, well, you can't really be happy. Look at what you've been through. You can't really be smiling. Look at what you've been through. You must have everything that you need. Nobody is that happy. They just find it all hard to believe. And it's so easy to. Because happiness comes from you. First, my happiness comes from the growth of my hair. Or how my lips move when I talk. Or how my eyes open up in the morning. And how long my eyelashes are. And how my eyebrows are perfectly right. How when I smile I have a dimple or two. How my chin grows hair just like a goat. Bah ha 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 ha. And I have a mustache just like a man. And how I just said mustache. How my toenails can go on forever without being done. How my fingernails grow. How the color of my skin gets darker in the summertime and lighter in the winter. Sometimes I just don't know how. By guessing what I'm mixed with, or thinking about who my people used to be, or where they are right now. Thinking about the love that could have surrounded me and the love that still does. I stay wrapped in my own blanket of happiness. Because it didn't depend on anybody else. It all depended on me. Sometimes my happiness comes from the jiggle of my thighs. When I dance around a room. When I skip to where I have to go. When my calf muscles cannot fit inside a regular size boot. When I have to laugh at my son cursing me out every time he thinks I should be doing something for him. My happiness comes from when the sky is the perfect shade of blue, pink, and orange. My happiness comes from how the trees move through the breeze. My happiness comes from two people walking down the street, holding hands, smiling, not knowing what's in front of them and not thinking about what's behind them. But in that moment, they know they love. My happiness comes from laughter, from jokes, from styles, from people that I see. My happiness comes from you. And I hope that some of your happiness comes from me. My happiness comes from silk and satin and some thread yarns too. My happiness sometimes leaves me sad and blue. Meaning that it makes me cry too. My happiness comes from this entity of God that is above me and above you. My happiness is in every single thing that I do. My happiness is because I love you. And I hope someday you'll love me too. My happiness is everything and anything that I can believe. But sometimes I gotta pack it up and sit it on the side of me and wait for it to find a train, for my heart to move. Sometimes I have to let me fly into the sky to freeze. And sometimes I have to let it drop, fall down on my knees, and pray for the static to send a spark straight to my brain so I know that happiness has lived inside of me. So, I don't know. I guess the moral to the story is happiness can be within anything that you see. Happiness can be within anything that you feel. Happiness could be you, and happiness could be me. Either way, I'm happy. But some days, it's just hard to be.